Программу «Музыка» представляет Rolex.
Постановка оперы – колоссальный труд. Сотни людей готовят премьеру.
I think what makes a great opera, obviously, is a great story.
And then you have to have a composer who knows how to use music in order to tell a story.
We created this production pretty much around the idea of a boxing ring.
I think that there's over like 400 costumes.
«Чемпион» – новаторское джазовое произведение. Мы побывали за кулисами Метрополитен-оперы в Нью-Йорке и познакомились с теми, кто создает шедевр. Нью-йоркская сцена превращается в ринг. Трагедия боксерской звезды. В основе каждой захватывающей оперы грандиозный сюжет. Это выворачивающая душу история одного из величайших боксеров всех времен, приехавшего за лучшей жизнью в Нью-Йорк в 50-х годах. Эмиля Гриффит из бедной семьи. Он родился на Виргинских островах. В Нью-Йорке восходящая звезда бокса живет двойной жизнью. Гриффита замечают в гей-барах. В 1962-м на взвешивании его соперник Бенни Паретом отпускает в его адрес пару гомофобных ругательств. Кровавый поединок оборачивается трагедией. Из-за полученных ударов на ринге Парет впадает в кому и умирает 10 дней спустя. До конца жизни Гриффита преследовало чувство вины. Его трагическая история вдохновила композитора Теренса Бланшара на написание оперы «Чемпион».
The line that really gets me is like, you know, I killed a man and the world forgave me, but yet I love the man and the world wants to kill me. It's something that makes the whole story unfortunate in a way.
I killed a man and the world forgives me. I love a man.
Well, at the core of this story, to me, it's about two things. It's about redemption and forgiveness. And the forgiveness part is forgiving yourself.
Автор оперного шедевра – шестикратный обладатель премии Грэмми, джазовый трубач Теренс Бланшар. Одна из самых ярких фигур в современной американской музыке. Он также пишет партитуры для фильмов Спайка Ли.
In this piece, you're going to hear a lot of different things. You know, we call it an opera and jazz because, you know, I'm using a lot of jazz elements. But we have calypso, we have sambas, you know, we have even some street beats, if you want to call it that. If I'm going to be a contemporary composer, then all of this is possible DNA for a composition. All of it, everything in our cultures, from all around the world.
Легендарный чемпион в полусреднем весе предстает на разных этапах жизни через флешбеки и видеоконтент. Это большой вызов для творческой команды. Режиссер и художник-постановщик должны вместе определить, как должен выглядеть мир, который они хотят создать на сцене.
I think the thing that I find these days with new operas and composers who want to do opera, they're more influenced by film than they are by theater. So it's very rare to do a new opera that doesn't have 20 scenes at least.
Для воплощения проекта в жизнь используется макет, что-то вроде кукольного домика. Это миниатюрная версия того, как будут выглядеть декорации. Это помогает принять важные визуальные решения относительно сценографии и света.
Honestly, the easiest part is figuring out what it's going to look like. With a thing like this, you've really got to start with the way it moves. Because the way a set moves can't be an encumbrance.
This isn't the type of opera where we bring down the curtain and then take it out when the next scene happens. It just keeps going. So we have to work out all of those transitions very, very carefully.
Emmilia Griffitta, is that you?
Wants to know.
It's me, Mommy.
Декорации изготавливаются в столярной мастерской. Метрополитен-опера славится своими цехами, где команда мастеров делает все, вплоть до сварки и покраски. В постановке «Чемпион» внимание зрителей привлекает занавес, настоящее произведение монументальной живописи.
That's a big stage. We work big, we're versed in working big. You sort of need to have in mind that from a distance, color, value, texture, sheen, temperature, you need to crank all that up a certain amount.
Визуально оживить персонажей – важная задача художника по костюмам. В Метрополитен-опере из сезона в сезон более сотни мастеров работают над тысячами костюмов и париков. От создания эскизов до выбора тканей художник по костюмам Монтана Леви-Бланка, лауреат премии Тони Вордс, приступил к работе над «Чемпионом» за год до начала репетиций.
What you see here is, I guess some would call like our war wall. I think that there's over like 400 costumes, and so it's really helpful for us with these scenes with many, many people. It's really helpful for us to see everybody as a collective. So what's really beautiful about Champion is that it's a memory piece, right? And so we are thrown back into these very visceral, real, alive memories throughout Emil's life. So one of the first is a carnival in the Virgin Islands in the late 40s. The second is a 1950s cabaret drag bar called Hagen's Hole. And the third really interesting space is kind of this male-dominated, masculine gym space. So I think that's what's really special about Champion is that it's an amalgam of all these worlds that you might not normally have access to, and Champion allows us to present that on the stage in a really beautiful and engaging way. The research that we are working from. One of the really special things about being at the Met is that they have relationships with kind of antique jeweler vendors, and so we're able to kind of use vintage stuff when in processes where you wouldn't probably normally be able to use vintage. So kind of like right now in the process, I think that we have our basic infrastructure, right? And then we gotta like put like the sprinkles and the frosting.
Есть роли, которые требуют больших жертв.
Good morning. I'm Speedo. I've been training for the Mets champion for about a year. Come watch me train.
Бас-баритон Райан Спида Грин, исполняющий партию профессионального боксера, сбросил 40 килограммов, чтобы привести себя в боевую форму. Пронзительная история чемпиона по боксу – часть усилий Метрополитен-оперы по расширению репертуара и привлечению новых зрителей.
when you're doing a modern work, a new work, there's so much that goes into even unprecedented territory of how you're going to present it. Like, I mean, even I think about today, you know, we have huge dance numbers in this piece, more so than probably any opera that the Met has done in a long time.
No way!
You know, my entire career up to this point has been about breaking preconceptions. You know, I come from a trailer park in Virginia, and the fact that I'm singing at one of the greatest opera houses in the world, it's a big deal. But now I think with this opera champion, I have the opportunity to break the preconceptions of opera goers, of opera fans, of what opera can be.
Ready, ready, ready.
Oh, yeah, ready, ready, ready. Ready for the fight and ready for anything. Ready, ready, ready.
This is not just an opera. I mean, there's so much involved. There's dance. I mean, there's a parade on stage, stilt walkers. I mean, it's amazing to look at, it's amazing to listen to, and it's even more amazing to feel these kinds of stories. I'm hoping that the audience will say, you know what? This is beyond our wildest dreams.
I'm very proud to be able to have people experience something that will open their eyes to this art form, which will allow them to do more investigation and have more experiences themselves.
Звучит гонг, второй раунд в новом выпуске музыки, в котором мы расскажем больше о репетициях перед премьерой.
Программу «Музыка» вам представил Rolex.